Kevon, Owen, this is Jack Smith, and we do a lot of counseling with parents and with kids. I guess the question I have to ask is, how involved should parents be with their children's therapy? Their children, their teenagers, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that can get tricky. We have confidentiality limitations and boundaries where we talk to parents about what we want to involve them in. Otherwise, if parents are too involved, sometimes what happens is the kids have a fear of consequences or something if they were to be honest about things, and that's kind of what the counselor is for. Is that as a counselor, I'm not going to give you consequences. I'm not going to judge you. I have no control over your life, your freedom, liberties. So being honest and open with me doesn't harm the child, because I know nothing bad can happen. But if the parents are always involved in everything, I think the child might not want to talk as much, and so that could be detrimental to his progress.
I think the parental involvement comes on the front end. You want to meet the kids counselor. You want to know what they're about, and even maybe even have a picture of the kind of counseling that they do. If you trust them, then I would say you might have a good counselor, and it might be a good place to start. But after you trust them, then you want your kids to have a place to do their counseling. I think that's important that you trust their counselor, because sometimes, Jack, you would never believe this, but sometimes parents call me and with some messed up interpretation of what it is their kids think I said to them in counseling. But you want to know who's talking to your kids, because a counselor does speak a lot of life into their beliefs and into the direction that they go. And so I think you want to be some involved.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we do Christian counseling, and so if you're looking for a Christian counselor, you would want to come to us, because you would know that at least ethically and morally we're going to be somewhat similar to what we're wanting for the child. And so those are things that I think are important. A lot of times, Kevin, I don't have a problem with telling a parent a generality like, yeah, hey, today we just talked about, ways to be more confident, or today we talked about anxiety. I don't mind giving them like that kind of topic of what we talked about, because then at least they understand what, and then they can work on that with the child throughout the week at home, and we can, because I got 50 minutes a week. The rest of it is the parents, and so we have to collaborate and work together. So I don't mind talking and letting them know that, and that doesn't really break confidentiality. It's the details, it's all the little things, it's the things, again, that the kid's struggling with that he would never tell the parents, or she would never tell her parents. And that's why it's important that we have that trust and that bond without the parent being too intrusive in that.
It is, on one end, you want to know your counselor, you want to have trust in your counselor. On the other end, you want your kid to also know and trust the counselor that they're seeing. I'm not okay with being pumped for information, because the kid's more likely to talk to me about some of these details than they are their parents. If that's what you want, it's not a counselor that you're looking for. If you want to know where your role is and what the involvement is, work with your counselor. Work with them in separate sessions, because usually that goes faster. Kids need counselors, but sometimes parents need counselors too. I don't know how many times parents have brought their kids up to my office with the "here, fix them," and then they go sit in their car and have never ever chosen to participate in a counseling session or had their own.
Yeah, I think if you're a parent and you really want to help your child the best, finding them a counselor is good. But I would volunteer to come in for a session and say, hey, what could I do at home better? What are some things that I might be misinterpreting? What are some things that I might have good intentions about, but I don't know the details enough to know that, overall this isn't going to be good. I think as a parent, you should want to work with the counselor that's working with your child, so that we can all come together on this and collaborate and really make some progress.
You need some counseling for your kids, maybe some counseling for yourself. Sometimes when parents get too involved, it's because their own insecurities or their own control issues. Maybe that could lead to some counseling. But if you need some counseling, either for your kids or for yourself, well, Jack does that kind of stuff. I do that kind of stuff. We'd love to work with you.